Have you ever paused to wonder why a single splash of color can turn heads in an instant, as if the world suddenly sees you in a new light? Picture this. A woman steps into a bustling cafe, her scarf a vivid red against the muted grays of the crowd. Conversations falter, eyes linger, and without a word, she's unforgettable. Colors aren't just threads in your wardrobe, they're silent storytellers, weaving impressions of confidence, elegance, and allure. They hold a quiet power, especially as the years deepen, enhancing your presence in ways that feel almost magical. Today, I'm inviting you along on a journey to uncover 6 shades that make men notice older women, not through effort, but through the effortless pull of hue and heart. These aren't just pretty colors, they stir emotions, spark admiration, and linger in memory. Stick with me to the end, because the final shade, it's a hidden gem too many overlook, yet it can lift your radiance in ways you'd never expect. Ready to feel more vibrant, more seen, more you? Let's dive in. Number 1, the fiery pulse of red. What is it about red that feels like a heartbeat set ablaze? For centuries, this shade has danced through history as the emblem of passion, courage, and undeniable allure. It's not subtle, it doesn't whisper, it strides into a room and commands the spotlight. When a woman wraps herself in red, she's not fading into the background, she's painting it with her presence. Science even backs this up. Studies show red quickens pulses and draws eyes, not because it shouts, but because it feels alive. It's the color of a woman who knows her worth and wears it boldly. Take Joan, for instance, a 72-year-old with silver hair and a smile that hints at 1,000 stories. She's no stranger to life's chapters, having raised 3 kids and weathered a career in nursing. Joan doesn't chase trends or drown herself in crimson gowns. Instead, she weaves red into her days with intention. A scarlet scarf knotted loosely around her neck, the faint click of red heels on hardwood, or lips painted a bold cherry shade. Last week, at her grandson's soccer game, she stood on the sidelines in a cream coat, her red gloves catching the late afternoon sun. A stranger struck up a conversation, drawn in by that flicker of color against the ordinary. Joan's secret? She doesn't overdo it. A single, thoughtful touch of red, a structured handbag, a ruby brooch pinned to a gray sweater, amplifies her quiet strength into something magnetic. Here's how you can harness red's fire. Start by finding your red. A warm, rich burgundy might glow against cooler skin, while a bright coral could sing on warmer tones. Don't feel pressured to drench yourself in it. Sometimes a red earring or a swipe of lipstick is enough to shift the air around you. Wear it when you need a surge of power, like that morning meeting or a dinner where you want to shine. Red doesn't just catch eyes, it changes how you carry yourself. Shoulders back, chin up, a spark in your step. It's bold, yet timeless. Fierce, yet elegant. A hue that says, "I'm here," without ever needing to raise its voice. Number 2, the steady grace of deep blue. Imagine the stillness of a twilight sky, vast and deep, pulling you in with its calm certainty. That's deep blue, a color that doesn't clamor for attention, but earns it through sheer presence. It's the shade of a woman who walks into a room and lets her quiet confidence speak. Associated with trust, wisdom, and a touch of mystery, deep blue wraps you in sophistication that feels effortless. Men notice it, not because it dazzles, but because it intrigues, like a secret waiting to unfold. Meet Linda, 67, a retired librarian with a penchant for crossword puzzles and a laugh that warms a room. She's not one for flash. Her wardrobe leans toward tailored slacks and soft cardigans. But when she slips into a navy blazer or a sapphire dress, something shifts. Last month, at a friend's book club, she wore a deep blue scarf draped over a cream blouse. The room buzzed with chatter, yet heads turned her way, drawn to the way the color framed her gray eyes and steady smile. Linda's no stranger to life's storms. Losing her husband a decade ago left her rebuilding alone. But blue is her anchor, reflecting a resilience she's earned. Deep blue's magic lies in its balance. Bold enough to stand out, classic enough to endure. Picture a cashmere sweater in midnight blue, its softness brushing your skin as you sip coffee on a crisp morning, or a cobalt skirt swaying as you cross a busy street, catching sunlight and sidelong glances alike. To make it yours, pair it with neutrals, ivory, gray, a hint of silver, or let it shine alone in a tailored coat. Wear it for evenings out, when the world dims and you want to glow with understated elegance. It's the color of a woman who doesn't need to prove anything. Her depth does the talking. Number 3, the gentle pull of blush pink. Close your eyes and picture a rose petal drifting on a spring breeze. Soft, warm, impossibly inviting. That's blush pink, a color that doesn't demand notice, but earns it with grace. It's not the loud fuchsia of youth. It's a whisper of femininity, a glow that softens edges and draws people closer. Tied to kindness and warmth, blush pink flatters without fanfare, enhancing your natural light in a way that feels like a secret shared between friends. Men don't just see it, they feel its pull, a charm that's subtle yet undeniable. Evelyn, 74, embodies this. A retired teacher with a love for gardening, she's spent decades coaxing life from soil and students alike. She's no trend chaser, her closet brims with timeless pieces, but blush pink is her quiet rebellion. At a recent neighborhood potluck, she wore a cashmere sweater in the faintest rose, the color catching the golden hour light as she passed around her famous lemon bars. A neighbor, usually gruff, softened, asking about her recipe with a rare smile. Evelyn's knack is letting blush pink frame her. Its warmth lifts the lines of her face. Its softness mirrors her steady hands. This shade thrives in delicacy. A silk blouse fluttering against your skin, a muted pink scarf catching the breeze, or a lip tint that hints at a blush. Wear it near your face to brighten your eyes. Pair it with grays or blues for harmony, and let its texture, cashmere, chiffon, sing. Evelyn once told me she avoided pink in her 50s, thinking it too young, until a friend gifted her that sweater. Now, she knows it's timeless, a hue for a woman who wears her years with pride and gentleness. Number 4, the regal depth of emerald green. Step into a forest at dusk, where leaves shimmer with a richness that stops you cold. That's emerald green. It's not loud or fleeting. It's a color of depth, luxury, and quiet power, like a gemstone catching fire in the shadows. Tied to wisdom and prosperity, emerald green cloaks a woman in sophistication that lingers. Men don't just glance, they pause, captivated by a shade that feels both grounded and grand. Diane, 69, knows this well. A former businesswoman who once commanded boardrooms, she's traded suits for a life of travel and painting. Yet her flair for elegance endures. At a gallery opening last fall, she wore an emerald blouse, its deep green glowing against her olive skin and silver hair. The room hummed with artists and chatter, but Diane stood apart. Her color a statement of confidence earned through decades of hustle. She recalls her first emerald piece, a scarf bought on a whim in her 30s, now a staple she pairs with gold earrings or a cream coat. It's her armor, subtle yet striking. Emerald green flatters with its richness, less harsh than black, less intense than red. Imagine a tailored blazer, its buttons glinting as you move, or a green coat rustling through autumn leaves. Pair it with gold for warmth, beige for calm, or wear it solo in a dress that hugs your frame. Diane swears by a green clutch for evenings out, small but enough to turn heads. It's the color of a woman who's bold without shouting, elegant without trying, a timeless echo of who she's become. Number 5, the warm embrace of ivory. Think of a candle flickering in a quiet room, its glow softening everything it touches. That's warm ivory, not the stark chill of white, but a hue with a heartbeat, steeped in Hollywood glamour and timeless grace. It's the color of a woman who doesn't chase attention, but gathers it effortlessly, her presence a blend of poise and warmth. Men notice its glow, not loud, but luminous, a refinement that feels like home. Margaret, 74, lives this. A former editor with a sharp mind and sharper wit, she's spent years polishing words and her own quiet style. At a recent wedding, she wore an ivory silk blouse, its drape catching the soft light as she toasted the couple. Guests leaned in, drawn not just to her words, but to the way she shimmered without trying. Margaret's no stranger to reinvention. Widowed young, she rebuilt her life page by page, but ivory is her constant. She found it in her 40s, a cream coat that made her feel invincible. And now it's her signature, paired with soft browns or a single pearl necklace. Ivory's strength is its versatility, a flowing skirt swaying in the breeze, a structured jacket crisp against denim, or a scarf pooling over your shoulders. Choose lush fabrics, silk, wool, cashmere, and let it move with you. Pair it with earth tones or pastels for depth, and wear it when you want to feel radiant without effort. Margaret says, it's like wearing light itself, a color for a woman who knows elegance isn't loud, it's lived. Number 6, the dreamy whisper of soft lavender. Have you ever caught the scent of lavender on a summer evening, gentle yet unforgettable? That's soft lavender, a color that weaves calm and charm into every thread. Not the bold purple of royalty or the playful lilac of youth, but a muted glow that balances grace and mystery. It's tied to tranquility and wisdom, a shade that soothes as it captivates. Men notice it, not with a jolt, but with a slow, lingering pull, as if drawn to a quiet dream. Helen, 71, wears it like a melody. A retired musician with fingers still nimble from years at the piano, she's a woman of rhythm and reflection. At a community concert last spring, she donned a lavender sweater, its hue softening the lines of her face as she chatted with old friends. A younger man, there with his kids, complimented her. Not the sweater, but her vibe, he said, grinning. Helen's life hasn't been all soft notes. She lost her son young and rebuilt through music. Lavender, she says, came later, a gift from a student, a lilac scarf she now wears like a second skin. This shade shines in its restraint, a flowing blouse rustling as you walk, a pastel scarf catching the wind, or a mauve pin glinting at your collar. Find your tone, cooler lilac or warmer mauve, and pair it with grey or burgundy for contrast. Helen loves it near her face, where it lifts her hazel eyes. It's the color of a woman who's learned to stand still and still stand out. Gentle, wise, effortlessly herself. Number 7. The subtle fire of warm coral. What if a color could feel like sunrise? Soft, yet bold, a promise of something new. That's warm coral, a blend of peach and pink kissed with a flicker of orange. It's not as fierce as red or as hushed as blush, but a lively middle ground that radiates energy and warmth. Tied to joy and vitality, coral lights up a room without overwhelming it. A hue that says, "You're here and alive." Men catch its spark. Not a demand, but a dance, a shade that feels like laughter caught in fabric. Consider Ruth, 68, a potter with clay-stained hands and a grin that crinkles her eyes. She's spent years shaping earth into art, a widow who found solace in creation. Ruth wasn't always bold. Grief dimmed her for a time, but coral crept in slowly. At a craft fair last summer, she wore a coral tunic, its hem brushing her knees as she arranged her wares. A buyer lingered, chatting longer than needed, drawn to the way the color glowed against her sun-worn skin. Ruth laughs about it now. She'd bought the tunic on a whim, tired of beige, but it's become her talisman, a reminder she can still shine. Coral thrives in motion, a scarf fluttering as you turn, a dress swaying at a picnic, or nails painted a soft tangerine. It flatters warm tones best, but a cooler coral can sing on paler skin. Pair it with cream or navy for balance, and wear it when you want to feel awake, alive. Ruth says it's her second wind, a color for a woman who's weathered storms and still chooses joy. Final thoughts. Colors are more than shades on a hanger. They're mirrors, moods, moments. They shape how the world sees us and how we see ourselves, lifting our natural light with every stitch. Red pulses with power. Deep blue steadies with grace. Blush pink warms with gentleness. Emerald green crowns with depth. Ivory glows with elegance. Lavender dreams with calm, and coral sparks with life. Each one offers a way to stand out, not by shouting, but by being you, fully and fearlessly. Yet here's the real secret. It's not the color alone that turns heads. It's the woman beneath it. The way you square your shoulders in red, soften your smile in pink, or tilt your chin in green. When you wear what lights you up, the world feels it. So, rummage through your closet this week. Which hues make your pulse quicken? Your spirit lift? That's your power, waiting to be worn. Thanks for wandering through this rainbow with me. Drop a note below with your favorite shade or a moment it changed you. Your voice keeps this journey alive.